In this lesson we're going to look at equations with fractions, but slightly harder ones. So in this first equation here, we've got x plus 1 that's all divided by 3 plus 4 equals 6. Now my first tip is, when you've got more than one thing being divided, I tend to put it in brackets like this, so as we keep this together. Now the same rules applies with the fractions as we did before in the last lessons. You need to eliminate the fraction, and we do that by multiplying everything, in this case, by 3, because this is really a division by 3, so if we multiply by 3, that will get rid of this fraction. But we must do it to all the terms, this term, and the bracket. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to eliminate the fractions by multiplying by 3. So times this by 3, this by 3, and this by 3. Now when you times all of this by 3, then you're timesing by 3 and dividing by 3, so you're just left with x plus 1, just the bracket part. I don't need to keep the brackets in, I can remove them at this point. There's nothing when multiplied by it at the start. Add on 4 times 3, which is 12, and that equals 18. So we can simplify here. I've got a 12 and a 1, so always simplify this side and other side if necessary before solving the fraction, the equation, sorry. And add the 12 and the 1, you're going to get 13. So x plus 13 is equal to 18. And finally now you're at the point where you can solve the equation. So if we just take away 13 from both sides, we can see that x is equal to 5. And you can also check to see if it works. Let's substitute 5 back in up here. 5 add 1 is 6, divide by 3 is 2, and if you add on 4 you get 6 here, so it works. Okay, let's look at another example like that. So here we have 2x take away 3 divided by 5, add on 2 equals 3. So as before, put brackets around the 2x minus 3 because all of that's been divided by 5, not just the 2x or just the 3, all of it together. So I want to eliminate the fraction, division by 5. So the way to do that is to do the opposite. So I'm going to multiply by 5. So I'll times this by 5, and remember to do it to every term to keep everything balanced. So times by 5, times by 5. So when I take this bracket and divide it by 5 and times it by 5, I'm just left with the bracket, if you like, which is a 2x minus 3. I'm going to add on 2 times 5, which is 10, and that comes to 15. Okay, as before, we can simplify this bit here. So do any simplifying before you want to solve. So I can either look at this as negative 3 plus 10, or it's easier actually to think of 10 take away 3, and this bit comes to 7. So I've got 2x plus 7 is 15. At that point, this is quite an easy equation to solve. So take away 7 from both sides, so 15 take away 7, that's 8, so 2x equals 8, and divide both sides by 2 to get x equals 4.